All right, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you, hopefully elect. All right, and as the title goes, um, pertaining to a dream that my demon on my rib that she had the other day, you know, um, Lord willing, it appears that she may be a prophetess because she's always telling me that she has these dreams, and I always tell her, you got these dreams, tell me about them, let me know. Um, and sure enough, just today, and I just got off the phone with her just to get some more details as far as this dream that she had the other day, and basically, just to get right to it, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this as we bring out time in and time out, and Acts chapter 2. Matter of fact, I started verse 16 because this is in reference to the book of Joel. But Acts 2 and 16, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel, and it shall come to pass. And just as a little sidebar, all right, for people that think that, especially these fake and phony Christians, talking about, and just anyone in general that believe that the Old Testament is done away with, is not relevant, or those were the Bible days. Well, little do these simpletons know that we are still in Bible days, believe it or not. All right, where we are still in biblical times, believe it or not. All right, because the scriptures tell you how the volume of the book, it is written of me, Yahushua said. All right, and that's the scripture in the New and in the Old Testament. All right, because the Old Testament is in fact not done away with. All right, in fact, Yahushua he referenced a lot of things pertaining to the Old Testament as it is written. You see, but that's neither here or there. Joel 2 and 16 again, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel, and it shall come to pass in the last days, save God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And more over the years, people have been having these prophetic dreams, visions, all right, that pretty much only the prophets are able to decipher through the scriptures. All right, because the prophets have been given that vision, they've been given that understanding. All right, they've been given that ability to see. All right, so at this point, like I said, more and more over the years, people have been having these prophetic dreams, visions from the elderly, the old to the young. All right, but nevertheless, again, as far as this dream or maybe a possible vision that my demon had, she basically was telling me about how in his dream, that these elderly men, black men, so-called black men, all right, she talked about how they were basically, I think she said that they were sitting down, and they were telling her about how something bad is getting ready to happen. All right, they were telling her that something bad is getting ready to happen, and this is what she told me, that she told me that these elderly men, these elderly gentlemen, well, I'm not going to say elderly, but she said they were older gentlemen, all right, which just through the spirit I perceive to be angels. All right, I perceive them to be angels. Again, she said they were sitting down and they were telling her about how something bad is getting ready to happen. And again, this is what she told me. All right, this is not to give me any type of credit or anything. I'm just simply a vessel, Lord willing, that Yahweh Shema Shai is using to, Lord willing, further his enterprise. All right, because what she told me that these gentlemen told her was that she needs to listen to me. All right. They told her, she told me that these men in her dream told her that she needs to listen to her husband. She needs to listen to me. And that because something very bad is getting ready to happen. All right. And basically, long story short, um she went on to mention how she said something about a house, um going inside of a house, um and she said that she remembers basically just destruction and just all hell breaking loose, pretty much. And she said she remembers a rain and fire. All right, like I said, just to make a long story short, all right, she says she remembers rain and she remembers fire, and it was spiritual because as she was telling me this dream, we were sitting in the car. I had just picked her up from the plantation. It's been pouring all day, and like I said, we were sitting in the car and she was telling me this. She remembers rain, and like I said, while she was telling me this, it was actually pouring outside. All right, and it reminded me of this here in the book of Amos. The book of Amos, Amos chapter 5. The point is in verse 24, but I will read verse, because like I said, I don't think, me personally, that it was a coincidence. Well, there is no such thing as coincidences, but I think that, because when the Lord is communicating, when he's when the Lord is dealing, he's dealing. You just got to be spiritually in tune to notice it, to pick up on it, right? Because like I said, she says she remembers rain, and what's equated to rain, lightning, thundering, and more specifically, dark clouds, right? The skies get dark, and again, it looked like a hurricane. Well, that's just weird because we just went through a little hurricane, but earlier today, and like I said, it's been pouring all day, but earlier today, man, it was just something, because we saw the as we were on our way back to the crib, it was like literally we were driving into this dark cloud, man. Just we saw the skies, man. It was something eerie, it was just dark, thick clouds, and that reminds me of the precept that I'm about to get. But that's often what you think about when when it's about to rain. All right. That's why I'm gonna get this real quick in the book of Amos, chapter 5. I just had it, man. So yeah, Amos chapter 5. I'll start at verse 16. Because kind of, I'm not gonna say, or how can I say it? Just as she was explaining the dream to me, it's just like, damn, I'm not gonna say it gave me goosebumps, but it definitely gave me some sort of chill almost down my spine, but in Amos chapter 5 verse 16, therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas, and they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. Because that's what's getting ready to come to America. All right, it says skillful in lamentation, man. Because right now these Babylonians, They're skillful in being comfortable. You know, that's what they're skillful in right now, being comfortable, being in this normalcy by His Spirit, this just the spirit of at ease, right? You know, these Babylonians walking around here thinking that they can't be touched, America can't be touched. You know, all the things that the men of the Lord have been prophesying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, because thus saith the Lord at the end of the day. All right, all we're doing is relaying the message. So, you know, the fact that we talk about these things and these people, man, they're like, man, that can never happen to America, man. I mean, we only see that stuff in the movies. Okay, that's all right, you know, because like I said, right now these people, they're skillful in being comfortable. They're skillful in partying and being merry, right? Being in mirth. Well, soon they're gonna be skillful in lamentation. All right, wailing, because like I said, that's what my demon, she was telling me, you know, after these men mentioned this to her, after they did talk with her, all right, that's what she said. She remembers basically all hell break loose and just destruction. She said there was a lot of death. She said there was death all around, you know. And sometimes, because like I said, she always tells me that she has these dreams, and I always tell her that, let me know, you know, if I'm able to, you know, filter through the scriptures, and I can. All right, and it's just basically because sometimes, you know, she has these dreams, and she kind of has to, how do I say it, recuperate. She has to kind of get her shit together, because, you know, so oftentimes when the Lord gives these visions, man, to certain people, hey, hell, even to the prophets, it's just like, damn, you know. And I'm not one to get dreams, all right, but every now and then, and it's spiritual, because I had a dream earlier this week, man, and I was like, damn. I woke up like, damn. But every now and then I get certain dreams. I wake up in the shivers. Sometimes I'll get a dream and I wake up in tears. And I remember going back to the elder Yashua, but he mentioned how he had a dream. He actually did a video based off a dream that he had, and he said he woke up in tears, man. You know, and that's how it is sometimes. You know, I'll wake up from a dream, and I remember one time waking up and I was crying. You know, and I had to kind of hold it in, because, you know, my demon, she was right there. You know, I don't want to wake her up or anything like that. But I woke up and I was really just, you know, tears were coming down my face, man, and it hurt. You know, I felt it. You know, you get these dreams, sometimes you feel it. You know, you can feel it in your body. You know, I remember how one dream one time, another one a couple of years ago, man. And you know, it has to be spiritual, because sometimes you get certain dreams and you don't even remember the dream, but you'll wake up remembering how you felt. All right, and that's the case with me a lot of times. The very few times that I do have dreams, I remember how I feel. And I remember I had a dream maybe a year or two ago, and I remember literally waking up sore. I woke up sore. My whole body was sore. You know, so there's got to be some type of spiritual aspect to that, because again, the prophets of old, you read about Daniel, Esdras, and certain men, they had dreams, man. They woke up physically ill. They woke up sick, physically sick. You know, so with that being said, as I was saying, because you know, I know my demon, she has these dreams, and I know, like, she doesn't tell me about it right away, because she might need a day or two. She might need some time to kind of recover and really, you know, gather her thoughts, whatever the case may be. Because like I said, she had this dream the other day, so, you know, she's just telling me about it today. You know, but yeah, man, you know, because this is something serious. There's nothing to play with. All right, you know, we are around the corner from destruction. All right, death being on all sides. That's going to be the new norm. Just death being in the air, man. You know, death on all sides. You know, hey, hell, it's bad enough. One dead body alone is enough to clear a whole block out. Well, one One dead body alone is enough to clear a whole block out, man. Yet alone thousands of dead bodies, man. The stench, just like I said, just is, I can just imagine the death being so thick in the air. You can feel it, man. You could just, you know, it's just a something about death, you know. Like when you're driving on the highway and all of a sudden you smell that smell and you just know it's roadkill. You know it's a dead animal somewhere, man. You could just sense death. You could feel death. And that's what's getting ready to come upon the streets of America, man. All right, death. And that's what she told me in this dream that she had. She said that after these angels, well, I perceive to be angels. Again, she said that they were not elderly, but she said they were older gentlemen, older so-called black men. All right, and they were sitting down telling her that, hey, you need to listen to your husband because something bad is something real. She said something real bad. She told me that they told her that something real bad is getting ready to happen. All right. And she said from there she remembers just death. She said she remembers a lot of death. That's what she said, just death. All right, and destruction on all sides. You know. So again in Acts 5:16, therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord saith, thus wailing shall be in all the streets. You see, so again, this is what's coming to America. Death on all sides, judgment, destruction. All right, because as I often say, hey, Yahweh Shema Shai, he's coming back to prove a point, and he's coming to prove a point through America's destruction. All right, because how is his power known? How is his name magnified? It's through judgment. And there's about to be a lot of judgment out here in America, man. And you see, that's the thing. That's why we always say, you know, how, or the head brother in the Hall always says, you know, because judgment goes out every day. All right, judgment takes place every day, but it's not enough, and that's why things have to ramp up. You know, and that's not going to be enough, and it's just going to ramp up more and more and more to the point where, hey, these people are going to be forced to acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai. They're going to be forced to acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai. But it says, and they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. Because, yeah, in that day, man, it's going to be too late. You know, if you're not of the elect, it's going to be too late in that day. Because we're crazy now. All right. We are whatever people want to call us now, but the time's going to come where, hey, these people, again, they're going to be forced to acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai. And they're going to be forced to acknowledge that his men were right the whole time, man. Like, man, what those guys were saying, they were right the whole time. Right? The scriptures talk about, is in Ezekiel, how they shall eat their bread and drink their water in astonishment. Like, damn, you know, when famines hit and when these prophecies really play out and it's hitting home, because that's what it's going to take. All right, when judgment hits home, all right, when the Lord, like it says in Deuteronomy, how the Lord is going to repay them to their face. You see, right now the Lord is visiting the earth, but when the Lord comes and it's you and Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, that's when it's going to get scary. That's when it touches someone, it's personal. And again, it's just you and Yahweh Shema Shai, because, hey, what does the scripture say? We all have to appear before that judgment seat. We all have to come before the Lord, you know? You see, man? So when it's personal and it's literally you and Yahweh Shema Shai, hey, that's when it's going to hit home. That, and like I said, hey, it's going to be too late by then, all right? It's going to be too late by then. But it says, alas, alas, and they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. I'll read verse 17. It says, and in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. And that angel of destruction, that death angel, going back to ancient Egypt, man, which, you know, that death angel being Yahushai, you know, that's what's getting ready to happen, man. Hey, that death angel is getting ready to pass through Egypt all over again, man. Modern day Egypt, spiritual Egypt, all over again. You know, and like ancient Egypt, man, hey, you heard the wailing, you heard the lamentation, you heard the crying, the wailing, you heard it. And that's about to be the new normal out here, man. And we're already seeing that on a low level, on a low form, man. You know, all these videos coming out and people are suffering, you know, especially these Babylonians, these Americans, they're suffering, they're through, they're catching hell. People are crying out, they're crying for wine in the street. We're soon to Isaiah 24, right? You know, but hey, this, we ain't seen nothing yet. All right. it says, verse 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So you see, man, that day is a day of darkness and not light. Because, this time, what these fake and phony Christians refer to as the tribulation period, to where, they think they're going to be raptured into the clouds, right? And for 7 years, the earth is going to be catching hell. The Antichrist is going to arise. You're going to have the Antichrist, where there's no such thing as the Antichrist. There's many Antichrists, all right? But according to the logic of these fake and phony Christians, there's going to be some Antichrist is going to sit on the throne, and it's just going to cause all hell to break loose on the earth, while those that so-called get saved are going to be raptured into clouds. Nah, man. All right, because again, contrary to what everyone thinks, man, hey, what everyone believes, hey, that's why I said, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. For what end? To what end is it for you? Because listen, that day is going to go against everything that these people is going to go against, everything that they thought, everything that they imagined. All right, it's going to be to their extreme disappointment. All right, because we're all going to have to be here, and that's the difference between the elect and everyone else. The elect they're going to be preserved, they're going to be protected. All right, certain brothers have been doing videos, man. Hey, things are about to, man, Lord willing, man. Things, we could be out of here 2025. Lord willing, 2024. The way that things are, because that's how we measure the time. We measure the time through prophecy, man, and just the way that things are ramping up, man. Hey, we know for sure that soon. All right, we don't know exact date, year, we don't know exactly, but we know for sure it's soon, and we're gonna see it this lifetime, in our lifetime, man. We're gonna see the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Nigga, it's gonna be contrary. It's gonna be to everyone else's disappointment. All right, that's why, hey, pursuant to the wisdom of Solomon, man, hey, it's gonna be to their amazement, to their astonishment. Because again, these are the guys that had it right the whole time. These guys. Better yet, these niggas, because we are counted as fools for Hamashiach's sake. But hey, that's how it's supposed to be. So don't feel on type of way or anything. But reading on, it says, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. And because when you jump down to verse, I'm gonna read verse 20. It says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So you see, man, and that's why, because as I always say, our words, they'll never do justice. Our words will never do justice, man. And that's why these people, they're gonna have to feel it. All right, they're just gonna have to go through it. The demonstration, they have to go through it. Because soon these prophecies, these destructions, these judgments is soon, real soon, man. Hey, it's gonna go from us just talking about it and giving the warnings to us living through it, living it out. All right, and unless if the Lord doesn't take your spirit from your body, hey, we're all gonna be here, and we're gonna have to live through this. You see, so very dark and gloomy days are ahead, man. All right, jumping to the point now in verse 24, because like I said, my demon, she said that she remembers after these older men told her that, hey, you need to listen to your husband, because something bad is getting ready to happen. And that's what she told me, that these men in her dream told her, that you need to listen to your husband, because something very bad is getting ready to happen. And from there, she said she remembers death all around, and then she says that she remembers going into this house, which to me, to me at least, others, other brothers may have a different interpretation, but to me, I think going into this house, the tabernacle, because it's like with us coming up, and I touched on this the other day, going into how the Lord is going to hide us under his pavilion. You know, again, the elect are going to be protected under the wing of Yahweh Shai, man, because Yahweh Shai, he is our protection. And hey, for you women, all right, your husband is your protection. Just like Yahweh Shai is our protection, he's our husband. Well, hey, you women, your husband is your protection. All right, he's going to be your covering, your pavilion, so to say. All right, and for you sisters that don't have a woman, well, just sit back and wait. The Lord will pair you up with a man in due time. But that's what it reminded me of. All right, when she mentioned how after these angels basically gave her this warning and she went into this house, again, long story short, she said that she remembers water and fire. All right, you know, now as far as this water and this fire, it could, again, brothers may have their different interpretations on it, but to me, as far as the water, that's why I want to read verse 24 in Amos chapter 5 and 24. Take thou away, Salakia, verse 24. I read verse 23. Amos 5 and 24. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. You see, because as I touched on this as well the other day, going into you know, water, man. You know, if you have a tsunami sweeping through the land, hey, it can be unmerciful. You know, it don't matter who's in the way. All right. You know, if you're standing in the path of a tsunami, it doesn't matter if you're a child, an old man, a pregnant woman. Hey, if you're standing in the path of that tsunami, hey, you're done. So you see, hey, waters can be very rushing waters, man. At that, like, you know, we all been to the beach. You know, and you step out there a little too far, and you start to feel them currents pulling your ass out there. And you start to, hey, let me take my ass back on shore, man. You start to feel them currents, man. You know, water is a very powerful element. You know, you see, but hey, that's going to be judgment. It's just going to come, you know, the floodgates of hell. That's going to come in many different forms, man. Esau to the plagues, famine. It's going to come in many different forms. All right. You know, so when the floodgates of hell do open up, hey, judgment, like I just said here, is going to run down as waters, man. Rushing waters, unmerciful, just taking everything in its path, man. And hey, that equates to a lot of death. All right. A lot of death, man. Going back to what she said she remembers a lot, that feeling of just death. She said there was a lot of death everywhere. You know, judgment, man. Hey, the Lord's getting ready to drop bodies. All right, and you know it's cool because you know you got a lot of Jake, man. They always respect the nigga on the block that has 3-4 bodies under his belt. You know, he might have 3, 4, 5 tattoos on his face. Teardrop tattoos on his face, which, you know, represents, you know, a certain amount of bodies and whatnot. Jake always respect the nigga on the block that got bodies. Well, hey, niggas gonna put respect on the Lord's name, man, because the Lord's really about to start catching bodies by the millions, the hundreds of thousands, by the millions, man. You know, bodies are really about to start dropping out here. All right. You know, and as far as them fires, man, again, you know, there's many interpretations as far as the fire, you know, but like I said, she said she entered into this house, which, like I said, it reminded me of just coming up under that tabernacle. All right, you know, Lord wanted safety and protection, because again, these men, they told her to listen to your husband, you know, and Lord wanted I be a man of the Lord, hopefully, you know, because that's my best bet. That's all we got. That's our best bet. It's just hoping that the Lord is, you know, the tender mercies, man. And that's something that I took out of this past day of atonement that we just had, man. You know, that's one of the things that I took in as far as just the Lord, his tender mercies, man. You know, more and more I've just been appreciative of the Lord's tender mercies, because none of us, quite frankly, none of us deserve to be here. We all deserve to die the death of a 2/3, man. That's why we're seeking the sure mercies of King David. You see, we're seeking the sure mercies of King David, because we all deserve to die horrible deaths. We all deserve the hell of the 2/3. We all deserve the death of Esau. All right. You know, but even with that, hey, the Lord is eventually going to show Esau mercy, man, because, you know, contrary to what everyone thinks, we all believe at one point where your spirit is going to be in hell forever. No, man. You know, and again, that ties into the Lord's tender mercies, because hey, even after, as much as the Lord hates these people, man, this nation of people, hey, the Lord's eventually going to show them mercy. You know, but that fire, like I said, you know, that can be different. That can, you know, mean several things. All right, that can mean several things, you know, as far as going through the trials and tribulations. All right, you know, because like I said right here in Amos the 5th chapter, you know, how the Lord's going to sweep through the land. Let me read it again in verse 17. And in all vineyards shall be welling, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. So that death angel, all right, you know, is going to sweep through the land, and only those that have that mark, that spiritual mark, all right, the thawa, are going to be protected, which is really going to consist of the men, the Israelite men, all right, and for the women and children that come up under the vibration of a man, all right, you're going to be covered. To you women and children that come up under the vibration of an Israelite man, a man of the Lord, you're going to be protected. You're going to be all right. All right, because just like again, Yahushua, he's our husband, he's our hedge of protection, he's our cover. Well, hey, you women, hey, that Israelite man, all right, and Israelite man is going to be your tabernacle of safety, your dwelling place of safety. All right, he's going to be your pavilion. He's going to be your meal ticket to salvation. You know, so take heed, man. You know, so again, you know, just to recap, as far as this dream that my demon had, again, that she had the other day, you know, she mentioned how she, in this dream, she these again, she said they weren't elderly Jakes, all right, but they were just older gentlemen, which I perceive to be angels, and they were telling her, hey, just listen to your husband. All right, listen to your husband. All right, and she told me because they were telling her that, hey, something real bad is getting ready to happen. All right, so listen to your husband. And again, long story short, she was telling me about how she went into this house, and she remembers a lot of death. All right. Oh, Slocky, there's another precept I wanted to get. But she says that she remembers a lot of death, just death everywhere. She remembers water. She remembers fire. All right. And I almost forgot. Let me get this. Because this is what, you know, is what is often equated to rain. All right. In Zephaniah chapter 1, I'll start at verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. So it's coming. Again, we are right around the corner, man. All right. And I know brothers feel it. I say it all the time, and we feel it. All right. Something's getting ready to happen, man. We don't know when. We don't know how. We don't know, but we just know it's coming. It says, even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Verse 15 is the point. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. And just like I said, just from what she was describing me, this is what it reminded me of, from the rain. Because like I said, you know, when oftentimes when it's about the rain, you see the dark clouds, and it's just some eerie, man. You just them dark clouds, man. That gloominess, you know, that you see it, you could feel it, you could sense it. That hey, something's about to happen, man. Something's about to happen. Whenever you just out and you see that, them thick clouds, that darkness, that gloominess. And I've always said this. There's something just when it comes to the darkness itself, there's something eerie about the darkness. It's just something eerie about that gloominess, the darkness. It's just something eerie about it. You know, you just know something ain't right. Something's gonna happen. You know, and that's the time that we're in, basically, man. Just a lot of just uncertainty, just a lot of eeriness and just gloominess, and just, like I said, brothers can sense it, man. Something's about to happen. You know, and that's what, hey, apparently that's what these men, these angels, were telling her, that, hey, that's what they told her, that, hey, something's about to happen. They told her, she told me that they told her that something very bad is about to happen, and to listen to your husband. You know, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it off there. Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh by Shemi Al Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elected to the next one. Shalom.